When my art career took off, it was just a leap of faith. I had 4 paintings, went down to Art Basel, Miami. Ended up, the first 2 days was hard, man, couldn't get nothing going. Ended up having my own little show, sold all 4 paintings, met Arnold Schwarzenegger's people, and they liked the story, they liked the art, and they asked me if I wanted to do something for kids. And given growing up in the projects with no dad and, you know, mom bipolar and everything, man, like, you know, I always had a thing for kids. Even when I was breaking the law, traveling the country, spending money, I'd only buy kids stuff and give it away, you know? And so, like, when she said kids, I was like, yeah, for sure. And then Arnold, like, you know, I mean, who didn't as a kid watch every show? I mean, I watched every movie from him, and could never imagine in a million years I'd be meeting him or even be at his house with my art, especially after going to prison and counterfeiting and all the craziness. But, you know, it's funny because when the first time that they invited me to his house, it was kind of a tense situation because I didn't even know if I was going to be able to go because of my past. And Arnold allowed me, man. He allowed me to come. And I don't even think he knows what he did for me. I mean, I'm sure he knows, but I don't think he knows to the extent. I never had the chance to sit down and tell him that one moment that I got to come to his home. And man, I sold like 480,000, man. I ended up giving the charity like 180 of it, and then took that money and went and opened my gallery. See, that's what's so special. This is what he don't know. I didn't take that money that I made from his house and bought a new car or watch or anything. I was getting snubbed by the galleries up at that point, and even though I had a story and the art was cool, I couldn't get into any of the big galleries, you know, and I was selling art. That's what was crazy. But because I didn't go through the schooling and all this, man, and plus my past, and so I knew that I had to either become extremely famous or I had to get my own gallery. And so when Arnold let me come to his house and I made the money that night, I went back to Chicago and I built me a gallery, man. And for 2.5 years, man, I fought hard to keep it. I traveled hundreds of thousands of miles. I came back to Arnold's the second year. It didn't turn out so well. You know, it didn't turn out the same for sure because I wasn't ready for it. I had some unfortunate things happen in Florida, and when I had to go back to Arnold's, man, I went half-stepping, you know, and it was still a good event, and I still sold a couple pieces of art, but it was nowhere near like the year before. But he was still kind to me, and he still allowed me to come. And then Andrea Bazan, she took over the charity and always stayed in touch with me. She actually became a very good friend. When I came here, I got to see her and told her that I was coming here to open a gallery. She knew I lost my gallery in Chicago when the COVID hit. So here it is, 2.5 years, I fought for that gallery, fought for that gallery, fought for that gallery. And then I had to close it in March. And now here in December in Beverly Hills, by just another leap of faith, like the first time I went down there, and now I'm opening another gallery in Beverly Hills. That would have never happened if he wouldn't have invited me to his house that night. Like, it might have happened because I'm determined and I'm relentless and I don't ever quit, but for sure it happened because he let me come to his home. And I hope that one day I have the chance to thank him because he changed my whole life, man. I'm free, you know? The chances of this failing and me going off track and going back to printing money are high. The recidivism rate for criminals is high for a reason. That moment when I had a little bit of resources to go and build my own gallery, that gave me the confidence where I felt like I could build anything. And that night I walked away from my gallery and I spoke on it, doing my little selfie and shit, you know what I'm saying? I said in it, man, that I'm gonna make it bigger and better. Now, I had no clue where, when, and how, but I just knew that I would. I did it once, I could do it again. And what do you know, as soon as I come out to LA, Andrea's right there with me, man, from the After School All-Stars, always encouraging me, always even came to my event during the pandemic. Like, she don't even know how much that meant to me to see her because I didn't know if people would come to my event. And she was there, and she really does love the kids. And so Arnold, man, he saved my life. And I'm sure maybe he knows that he's probably saved a lot of people were inspired by him to change or something, you know, because of his Mr. Olympia and everything. But he literally personally saved my life by touching it, by letting me come to his home. We're not talking about like his business, we're talking about his home where he lives. Hell, I don't even like people to know where I live now, you know what I'm saying? And he let me come there. I can't wait to start doing things for the kids again. Those 3 paintings on the walls over there, those are full donations to him. He don't even know it. Those 3, I don't want nothing for them. Usually artists, they want 50% or they got a reserve on it. I don't want none. I hope he could get the most he can for them. For them children. And there's some of my best paintings, man. One is of him and Abe, because I know he loves Abe Lincoln. One's of Marilyn and Ben, and then one's of George and Lady Gaga.